Looks like fans lose their mind over the recent episode of Demon Slayer, for good and bad reasons. Yo, what's good? It's the boy the reviews and heavy spoilers for Demon Slayer Season 3, Episode 5, You Have Been Warned. The episode begins with Tokito saving Kozo, but Tokito comes face to face with Gyoko, the creepy looking demon, the demon that has two mouths where his eyes should be. Ew, creepy. We then cut to some of the villagers trying to escape from the CGI fish. I do like how some stay behind and try to take on the fish. Even though these people aren't fighters, they have a lot of guts. But Lady Kanroji comes to the rescue, and she's just whipping these fools like it's nothing. She has a whip-like sword. She looks so graceful and elegant when she's slicing the CGI fish. And speaking of the CGI fish, we cut to possibly one of the freakiest looking fish I have seen so far in this anime. I mean, look at it. It's honestly a stuff of nightmares. And with the fish being shredded as well, it adds to the creep factor. Lady Kanroji saves two civilians, and we get a beautiful, dazzling sequence of her using her whip-like sword. And it's pretty damn beautiful just looking at it. The elegance and gracefulness in that sequence. She saves the old man who is pretty infatuated with her and is a bit of a simp for Lady Kanroji, as well as the other guy. I mean, in this situation, can you blame them? We then cut to Nezuko saving Tanjiro. This scene was a bit confusing at first because I thought I missed the scene, because last week they ended the episode with them being knocked out, but it looks like the two of them are fine now. Bit of a plot hole, but it is what it is. I do like how Nezuko and Tanjiro take turns into carrying one another. First it's Nezuko carrying Tanjiro, then she gets hurt, then it's Tanjiro's turn to carry Nezuko. But the demon dudes blast the two of them away and they are stuck under some rubble. Nezuko then starts grabbing Tanjiro's sword, and she grabs it so hard that she starts to bleed out. For a second I thought she wanted to break Tanjiro's sword. At this point I thought she lost it and was probably going to do something unforgivable, but I was wrong, thankfully. We cut to Gyoko, Tokito and the others, and Gyoko wants to show Tokito his grand artwork that he was working on, and this boy is a bit of a Picasso. It looks like it's the mangled bodies of some of the swordsmiths. This scene is kind of horrifying to look at. Really surprised this was allowed to be shown on TV. And it gets even worse when Gyoko turns one of the swords, and then one of the swordsmiths just starts screaming out in pain and blood is just pouring from the poor dude. It's just a pretty hard scene to watch, possibly without a doubt the goriest scene I've seen of Demon Slayer so far. Little Kozu and the other man just screaming out and crying was just pretty hard to watch as well. The voice actors nailed their performances right there. Even Tokito shows his frustrations towards Gyoko, but Gyoko has an interesting ability of teleporting from one vase to the other, but his smile starts to fade away when Tokito keeps smashing the vases. He then activates a new technique called Thousand Needle Fish Kill, and we get a cameo of Finding Nemo. This episode was just one surprise after the other in terms of the visuals and spectacles. I mean, for a second I thought this was all 2D animation, just because of how beautifully animated and designed they were. Such odd creatures. They have a beauty to them, but also a real sense of creepiness. It's probably the eyes, but these fishes have a pretty nasty special move of shooting out needles, and Tokito saves Kozo, which is a sharp contrast from episode 2 when he was belittling him. Gyoko's words of worthless lives triggers a memory from his past. It's of a man saying that Tokito's life is a worthless life, so it looks like we are slowly starting to dive deep into Tokito's past. I'm pretty curious to know what happened to this boy. We cut to Nezuko and Tanjiro, and Nezuko activates her demon powers, which engulfs Tanjiro's sword in a blaze of Nezuko's blood. As soon as this happens, we see a man that looks like Tanjiro, I think it's his father, and we see a lady who might be Tanjiro's mother, but Tanjiro himself doesn't know who this person is, so I might be wrong. Tanjiro then thinks about all the people that helped him to get to this point, and with the bonds of friendship, Tanjiro has the strength to take on the demons. Upper 4 then looks at the sword, and it reminds him of the burning sword that apparently drove Muzan into a corner and almost beheaded him, which is some pretty interesting information regarding Muzan. I assume it's the dude with the earrings from Tanjiro's memories. Judging from the fact that they keep cutting back and forth between Tanjiro and this dude, it looks like that Tanjiro is some sort of reincarnation of him, but as an anime only, it's just my theory. With this new special move, Hino Kami Kagura, Sun Halo Dragon, we get some of the most beautiful, shockingly amazing animation sequence I've seen of Demon Slayer so far. Wow, what a beautiful sequence right here. It was just so colorful and vibrant, and so much love and care was put into every frame of this. So well done to Studio Ufotable for this scene. Thank you. But with one demon down, Tanjiro still gotta tackle another one, and the episode ends with that demon stabbing Genya, and Genya looks like a demon in this shot. Sadly, this scene was spoiled by me a few weeks before, but when you do see Genya in the previous episodes, it does make sense as to why he wasn't able to die when those demons attacked him. But overall, what a beautiful episode this was. I'm not the only one who thought this episode was amazing. The internet went absolutely insane with this episode, some being in disbelief over what they just saw, people thanking the studio for making such a beautiful looking episode. But sadly, despite all the love and praise this episode has gotten, there are still some who have criticized this episode. One tweet that trended and got over 1 million views on Twitter, this Twitter account considered this episode to have the worst storyboard fight of the season, which naturally angered some fans. But he wasn't the only one to dislike the episode. You have some others who still don't like the CGI of the fish, and you have some fans who are complaining that there's just too many cool action sequences and not enough good story. So yeah, some of the fans have gone a bit insane with this episode. Some absolutely love it, some absolutely hate it, and some are in the middle. But where do you fit in all of this? Tell me. I will give this episode a 9 out of 10 and an A. Tell me in the comments down below what you guys thought of this episode. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Like this video, subscribe for more Demon Slayer reactions, reviews, comparisons, breakdowns, rankings, and more. But thank you for watching, and as always, a boy do the reviews, signing out.